I went to the doctor, told him I was tired, swollen, and peeing all night. He said, "You're fine. Just getting older." Weeks later, I found out I had stage 3 chronic kidney disease. No warning. No early tests. This is my story, and how I fought back. If you've ever felt something was wrong, even when tests say you're normal, stay with me. You need to hear this. It started with something small. I felt tired. Not the, "I had a long day" kind of tired, but a deep, bone-level exhaustion. I'd sleep 8 hours and still wake up like I hadn't rested at all. Then came the swelling, my ankles puffed up slightly. It wasn't painful, just strange. I also noticed I was using the bathroom a lot more at night. Sometimes 2 or 3 times. I brushed it off as age. Or stress. Or both. So I went to see my doctor. He checked my blood pressure, cholesterol, and sugar, all within normal range. He smiled and said, "You're doing okay. Probably just need to slow down a bit." But my gut told me otherwise. Something felt off. I began Googling things like chronic fatigue over 50, swollen ankles and tiredness, and eventually early signs of kidney disease. And there it was, listed out in black and white: fatigue, swelling, nighttime urination. I had all 3. Still, I hesitated. I didn't want to overreact. But something in me said, this isn't nothing. Looking back now, I wish I'd trusted my instincts more. Because those little signs, they weren't random. They were red flags. And I nearly ignored every one of them. The signs didn't stop. I started losing my appetite. Some days, food tasted off, or not at all. Other days, I'd crave salty snacks like chips or pickles, even though I never liked them before. Then came the foam in my urine. Not every time, but enough to notice. I also began feeling this dull, aching pressure in my lower back. And the itchiness, mostly at night. My skin felt dry and tight. I didn't think kidneys had anything to do with it. But now I know better. I even developed these dark circles under my eyes. People thought I was just tired or working too much. But deep down, I felt something wasn't right. So I went back to my doctor, again. I said, "Hey, could this be kidney related?" He smiled politely and said, "It's probably just age. Or stress. Nothing serious. No tests. No follow-up. Just reassurance." And for a while, I believed him. Because it's easier to believe everything's fine than to imagine something is seriously wrong. But let me tell you this, when your body whispers, listen. Because if you wait until it screams, it might be too late. I didn't know that these were all chronic kidney disease symptoms, especially for stage 3 CKD. And I didn't know that undiagnosed kidney disease is more common than people think. That ignorance almost cost me everything. One night, I couldn't sleep. My legs were restless, my back ached, and I had already gotten up twice to pee. So I sat down at the kitchen table, opened my laptop, and started searching. I typed, fatigue swelling urinating at night over 50. Then, why is my urine foamy? Then, early signs of kidney disease. And there it was. Every symptom I had, listed one after another on trusted medical sites. Fatigue. Swelling. Changes in urination. Loss of appetite. Itchy skin. Lower back pain. I felt like I was reading a checklist written just for me. That's when it hit me, I could be living with chronic kidney disease and not even know it. And I wasn't alone. I found out millions of people in the US have undiagnosed CKD, because the early symptoms are easy to miss, or easy to ignore. I learned about the GFR test, a simple blood test that measures how well your kidneys are filtering waste. I read about the urine albumin test that checks for protein leakage. No one had offered me those tests. That night, I decided I'd stop being passive. I printed out my symptoms, highlighted what I found, and made a new appointment, with a different doctor. That moment, at 2:30 in the morning, with a browser full of tabs and a stomach full of dread, that's when I truly realized, this is serious. And if I didn't push for answers, I might not get another chance. That second appointment changed everything. This new doctor, he listened. I mean, really listened. I handed him the list of symptoms I'd printed. He didn't brush it off. He nodded. Took notes. Then said, let's do a few more tests, just to be sure. He ordered 2 things my first doctor never did, a GFR test and a urine albumin test. The results came back a few days later. My GFR was 45. That put me squarely in stage 3 chronic kidney disease. My urine test showed elevated protein, another clear sign my kidneys were struggling. I was shocked. Angry. Relieved. All at once. Shocked that I'd been walking around with this for months. Angry that no one caught it sooner. Relieved that, finally, I had answers, and a path forward. The doctor explained that CKD often goes undetected in the early stages because the symptoms are vague. But early detection is key. It gives you time. Options. A chance to change your habits and slow things down. He talked me through next steps, diet, medications, blood pressure control, and regular monitoring. For the first time in a long while, I felt like I had some control. Like I wasn't just waiting for things to get worse, I could do something about it. And it all started with one decision, not accepting, "you're fine," as the final word. Getting that diagnosis, stage 3 chronic kidney disease, it shook me. But it also lit a fire. I wasn't going to just sit around and wait for things to get worse. I had to act. First thing I changed. My diet. I cut back on sodium, big time. No more frozen meals or canned soups. I learned to read food labels like my life depended on it. Because, well, it did. I switched to kidney-friendly foods, like berries, cauliflower, rice, egg whites, and olive oil. I avoided processed meats and stayed far away from dark sodas and anything with phosphates in the ingredients. Protein was tricky. I didn't cut it out, but I made it smarter, smaller portions, higher quality. Chicken, fish, tofu. I even swapped some meat meals for veggie-based ones during the week. Then I focused on lifestyle. I started walking, nothing crazy, just 20 to 30 minutes a day. It helped with my blood pressure and kept my energy up. I also got a blood pressure cuff at home. I tracked it like a hawk. I stopped taking ibuprofen unless absolutely necessary. And I quit smoking. Cold turkey. These weren't miracle cures. But they were steps, real, powerful steps that gave my kidneys a fighting chance. I wasn't aiming for perfect. I was aiming for progress. And every small change added up to something bigger, hope. I couldn't undo the damage. But I could stop it from getting worse. And that gave me strength I didn't know I had. Here's what I learned: your body knows before the lab does. If you feel something's wrong, don't wait. Don't second-guess yourself. Ask for the GFR test. Push for answers. Learn the early signs of kidney disease. Talk about it. Share your story. You might help someone catch it early, before it's too late. I'm still living with chronic kidney disease. But now I'm living smarter. Stronger. With purpose. If this story resonated with you, give this video a like. Share it with someone you care about. And hit subscribe for more real stories and practical kidney health tips. Because awareness can save lives. It saved mine.